Imagine waking up at 6 a.m. and log into your computer, and then you realize, heck, you know what? I can't actually log in. Then you sit back and you try a different email, maybe try a different computer. See, maybe it's you. Maybe it's my particular system right now that's preventing me from being able to get the job that I need to get done. Then you call your supervisor and say, hey, you know what? For some reason, I can't log in. And they tell you, listen, Google has been laying everybody off. You may have been laid off. You see, at the end of the day, Google went through a massive process of laying off close to 12,000 plus employees. And when you think about this, I think we have to take a look into the global landscape. Essentially, what the heck is happening as a result of the pandemic? You see, I did a video early before about quiet quitting and about how people are beginning to get into the process where they are, one, requesting to be virtual. Heck, I had a situation where I had a conversation with a former employee of mine, and we were just talking about the fact that it's nearly impossible to hire people now, especially in some of the social work fields, because many people are requesting to work remotely. And when they find out that they have to come in and work in person, well, they choose not to opt into that particular position. You see, Google, one, had to sit back and address what was going on with the bottom line. But man, oh man, they didn't have to do it the way that they did it. And I'm going to stress this again. I disagree with the way that you handled that situation, Google. Come on, Google, you got to do better than that. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to do a mass layoff, why don't you just sit back and schedule a Zoom session? Every single person, if your name is on the list, we have 2 mandatory sessions. Choose one that you can log into. Turn off all chat. Make sure that no one can communicate, and then you go in front of everybody and have a conversation. Sending an email explaining what's taking place was not right and downright disrespectful. But listen, I think it speaks into an issue that we do need to address when we're thinking about what's happening in the United States. You see, this whole push around quiet quitting and virtual and remote work is creating a challenge for everyone. I'm gonna tell you right now, whether you believe it or not, here's what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is that 50% of our jobs are gonna be outsourced from the United States. If you're going to demand remote work, then why not just sit back and pay someone pennies on the dollars in order to do the same job that you are unwilling to do and still get the same level of production, especially if you're mandating that you work remotely. You see, I'm gonna tell you right now, and whether you believe it or not, I strongly believe that we need to figure out a way to find an equilibrium and find balance. I'm a firm believer in balance. And I think people right now are realizing that their health and mental state is really critically important. You best believe here's what's gonna happen. Google in about 5 or 6 months is gonna start ramping up hiring people. And instead, you're gonna start seeing that they're gonna outsource 20% of their jobs. It's gonna be very subtle. Maybe 10% of their jobs. So they're gonna hire maybe 2,000 people, maybe outsource the work to people in India or China or whatever the case may be, right? And then what will start happening, right, is it will improve the bottom line, because what's gonna eventually start happening is they'll pay them half of what they would pay someone in the United States. And they may get the same level of production and work. That's just my thought, and I'm gonna stress this so everyone can actually think about this thing. The push to work remotely will have a dramatic impact on our performance. So we need to make sure that we're not pushing something that we're not prepared to sit back and reap the consequence of, if you know what I mean. But heck, listen, it's just my perspective. I think it's something for us to think about when we're talking about what's happening in our global landscape. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Please make sure you write your ideas in chat. As always, stay hungry, stay motivated, stay focused, and happy planning.